In our next episode of the workshop, we bring to you the sustenance of the home, the kitchen. Architect Santha Gour and architect Aahana will take us through the journey of conceptualizing and designing a kitchen. The workshop series is brought to you by our title sponsor Blum India and our associate sponsor Lingel Windows and Doors Technologies and Jung Switches and Automation. With a subjective approach to design, architect Santha Gour heads Planet 3 Studios and Infinity Design Studio. She has been the recipient of many national and international awards for her out-of-the-box designs that are heavy on innovation and creativity.
Hi, I'm Santha, Principal Architect from Planet 3 Studios and Infinity Design Studios, Mumbai. Uh, it's been a crazy, tiring day, but I'm here today to speak about kitchens and all the kitchen designs that I have done here in Mumbai. So I'll be presenting to you three kitchens that are there, and all of them are in lifestyle apartments in Mumbai. They are in penthouses in Juhu. They are in a very nice duplex apartment in Vadala, and so on. So I will take you through the entire process of how we work around the kitchen design. So the most challenging part of doing any residential interiors is that everybody owns the house, right? The housewife owns it, the cook who comes there owns it, the driver owns it, the family owns it. So everybody has their opinion, and our process gets more challenging because we have to weave our way through this kind of input that comes in from everybody, and finally give a product to the client that they are happy with. So let me take you through what we do for a living. Okay, so as I said, I would be presenting three kitchens to you. And this first kitchen is actually not a single kitchen, but two kitchens in a very large apartment. This is in one of the luxury high rises in Mumbai, and it's for a very successful couple. Both husband and wife have done extremely well in their careers. And they wanted, this is the apartment that they know that they are going to retire in. This is their final destination apartment, as they so called it. So if you see, this is actually two apartments that have been joined together. This is two 3 BHKs that are joined together. And so just to take you through it, that's the main entry of the house. The first kitchen is here. that opens onto this lovely living room that has a fantastic view of RML colony. It's beautiful green space that you overlook. The second kitchen, if you see, was over here. So, as the lady of the house described it, they do a lot of entertaining in the house. They have a lot of people coming over for the weekend, and they really wanted this apartment to showcase their lifestyle. They were finally happy to move out of a cramped 3 BHK into a lavish 2 3 BHKs, nearly a 6 BHK apartment. So they wanted one kitchen to be the workspace, the work kitchen, where all the cooking would happen, the cleaning would happen, and in case of a party, the chefs could come in and cook here and present the dishes and then lay it on the dining table. Whereas the other kitchen was very nicely planned into a show kitchen. So this is a space where their friends come in. The kitchen also has a bar. Just forgot to explain. The kitchen has a bar. We broke down the wall, so the kitchen overlooks into the living room. And this is where their friends can walk in and pick up a nice glass of wine or a glass of beer and move on to their living room chat. Uh, it's a beautiful open space with nice microwave and so basically a show kitchen. There's no it's made for the glamour of the house, whereas all the dirty work happens in the work kitchen. So let's start with the design. So this project is around 2 months from completion, and of course there have been certain changes. But the final images, of course, I'll be sharing on our own Instagram page. So this is a visual of the show kitchen. So we used a lot of gray wallpaper, very nice textured wallpaper, and then there is a very nice veneer on the back wall. This is the bar that I spoke about, and that's the show kitchen in the background. So the back wall is full of paintings and nice looking things, nice gadgets, a garage appliance, a very nice built-in refrigerator, nice bar cabinet with a nice good collection of wine and drinks and everything. That's how the apartment looks. So coming to this image, this is the image of where the show kitchen, the bar, everything opens onto the large living room that they have. And we realized that there would be a lot of people coming in, maybe people who would be serving, their friends who would be coming, people getting drunk, and then they wouldn't be really using this, the kitchen or the accessories the way the homeowners would be using. So we put a lot of effort into the hardware. We chose some very nice high-end very nice high-end hardware brand into building this. We wanted it something really sturdy that would last them a long time. The switches is, if you see, the entire house is on automation. So it is controlled by their phones and their iPads. So no unsightly switches or anything anywhere that you see. There's a very nice customized light that is hanging over the bar counter. As you move on, we opened up one of the bedrooms, yes, and made that a AV room. And we have used very, very sleek hardware in creating this feature. Slimline hardware. We didn't want any of those bulky aluminum kind of frameworks. So generally opens up the space. So this living room has a fantastic length of around 70 feet and the width is around 13 feet. So it is just you walk in and it's a place that impresses you. So that's how it looks. Simple design, but meant to last. Now I take you through the process of how we design their kitchen. So now this is their work kitchen. This would be used by their cook, their full-time cook, a part-time cook, the cleaners and everybody. So we went in to create a lot of visuals. So you will see our first option that we really preferred was a kitchen with a lovely wooden flooring. So I have used wooden flooring in some other projects also. And it works beautifully with kitchens. I don't understand why people don't use wooden flooring in kitchen. It lends such a beautiful warm glow to it. Again, you see there are concealed hardware. There are no profile handles. I have begun to hate profile handles. All these drawers and shutters are on sensors. So it's just a very simple push onto the drawer and it slides out, and a very nice soft closing hardware that we have used. I will take your attention to this cabinet here, which we call the Appliance Garage. So this is where your microwave comes in, and below that is the steamer that comes in. Above that, there are shutters which we have fit in the normal food processor, the toaster, and so on. So that's where all their appliances and gadgets fit in, keeps the kitchen looking very neat and tidy. Again, you see very nice downlighters that we have used. And since it's an automation, you don't see any ugly switches. All the plug points are concealed inside this. So we hate those plug points in the kitchen where you are plugging in and then you have grease going in to those plug points. It just becomes very, very shabby. So it's a very neat, clean, sleek kitchen. So this was the first option that we created for them, for the family. And the next one, we thought, why not just up the life of the kitchen by adding a very nice, vibrant Moroccan tile feel. So as I said, the final image will be revealed on our Instagram page. So these were other visuals. Taking you through the image on the left-hand side, the kitchen is pretty big. It is around a 10 feet by 12 feet kind of a space. So very nice, lavish kitchen. So at the extreme end, there's a nice refrigerator, a double door refrigerator. There are more appliances here, and the lady wanted a very nice crockery cabinet, which was lit beautifully from inside, and which showcase she has collected lovely crockery from her travels all over the world, and she really wanted to showcase that. She wants to start using that, so she thought, why keep it inside cabinets and all? Let's use it in an everyday in your everyday affairs. So we created this beautiful cabinet for her where you can see through the crockery, a nice dishwasher and a sink at one end. Unfortunately, this kitchen does not have a very big, large window. It's a very simple window that the developer has provided, and beyond which there is a duct to keep in your AC and all of that. So the kitchen is not very nice, very well lit with natural light. So we have used a lot of artificial light to light up the kitchen. Uh, Taking you to the image on the right hand side, it's another design variation that we did for the same kitchen, but here we have introduced the crockery cabinet just over the worktops. So again, adds nice flavor to it. Here we have used profile aluminum shutters in the hardware, but again you'll see none of the doorknobs are there, none of the jutting doorknobs. It's all very sleek, simple, unobtrusive, nothing that will hit you. None of the knobs are going to hit you, hurt you. A nice built-in hob. Uh, they've used very good brands, and primarily because they really thought that the people who work for you don't use kitchens with a lot of love and care. So a lot of effort was we put in using the best and the most sturdy hardware. So that's both the kitchens for these 2 3 BHK apartments that we had joined. Now I will take you to the second project that I really wanted to showcase. Now this is a duplex penthouse in Juhu that we are doing for a very young couple. They've just been married, and I think couple of years into their marriage, they have moved into this beautiful house here. So again, you see, unfortunately, the kitchen here is very small. It's hardly like 150 square feet. That makes it around 12 feet by around 9 feet in width. Not too big, and especially when you're entertaining and when you have a lot of people who are going to help you cook and clean and everything into this kitchen, it's not a very big space. Now, what we did here is very interesting. Our kitchen spills out into a further open kitchen. If you see here, this is a chef's counter, and the chef's counter is adjoining the dining table. So this young couple also has a lot of friends over on weekends. They like to party, they like to entertain. So we thought, why not the food gets cooked from inside, and somebody carries it to the chef's counter here, and then the chef further adds the glamour of tossing the pasta, a nice teppanyaki grill that we want to put here, and then so it becomes a very interactive space. So actually, if you see, the kitchen and the dining and the chef's counter is actually one space. Again, a lot of thought that went into the hardware and using good hardware, because the kitchen is finally used by the help of the house. And as you can see, not too much of a window, a very small, narrow window, which is above the kitchen platform. But fortunately, this house has a lot of natural light. Now I will take you the visual of how it looks. So this is the chef's counter that I was talking about. Unfortunately, we don't have an image of the kitchen. So the chef's counter, behind that, there's a beautiful cabinet. Again, all the In the cabinet, we have nice glass shutters which are backlit, so the couple can showcase their crockery or their wine bottles or accessories, cooking accessories. Interestingly, the man of the house also loves cooking, so he thinks on an everyday basis he's definitely going to be using this chef's counter. So there's a lot of natural light coming in through these windows out here. As you see, the dining area spills over onto a nice balcony here. And if you see a lot of detailing, the whole design aesthetic of this house is a bit on the French or the British colonial side. So we used a lot of these Georgian windows here in the uh, instead of a normal simple aluminum frame window. You'll see these sleek mullions. We are talking to a very interesting brand who's going to deliver this for us, and very simple otherwise, Satvario marble on the flooring, Satvario marble dining table here. It again goes on to the chef's counter. The chef's counter also doubles up as the bar, and you can imagine the energy of this space when there's a party or something going on. Somebody is cooking here, somebody is serving here. There's a lot of to and fro happening between the kitchen and this space. So we saw this space as one. So that might be the cooking area, but this is the spillover of the kitchen area. So the kitchen, the chef's counter, and the dining area. For us, it is one space. It is a hospitality space in this house. Some nice lighting that we have done, very sleek lighting, and again, very simple switches that we have used very unobtrusively. Uh, Interestingly, this chef's counter would also be having a draft beer kind of a cabinet below, so anybody can come up with their mug of beer and fill their mugs with the draft beer. So that's how it is. Um, I just wanted to take a brief moment to explain the Georgian windows that we have used. So this is a view of the living room of the same penthouse that we are doing. So again, instead of simple aluminum windows that are provided by developers everywhere or people normally that all of us use, so we went on to create this opening. So this is a full French window, but only thing, of course, since we are on in a high rise, we are on the 14th floor of this building. So till here, this window is blocked. So this becomes a kind of a railing beyond which these windows are openable. So this nice sleek mullions that give you that very nice Victorian Georgian feel. We've used that, and the rest of the palette is very simple, a white and a gray. So that ends the design for the second house. Now I will take you to a very simple apartment uh, in Vadala. Small family again, just a couple and their kid. Uh, so that's their kitchen. The challenge in this kitchen was it's a very small kitchen. So the earlier kitchens I showed you, the two kitchens, I mean the work kitchen and the show kitchen in the earlier apartment gave you a lot of space to move around, to keep your crockery and all of that, and a very good space for serving in case of parties. Even the second house, though the kitchen was small, but there was a lot of spillover space. In this is a simple Bombay apartment. It's a 3 BHK, very small kitchen, but a large dining area. So we are creating visuals for this. This is our visual for the kitchen that is getting done. So as you see, it's a very tight space. But how we're dealing with the tight space is we're using nice neutral mushroom colors and a nice wooden laminate, wooden veneer that we are using, Korean on the worktops. But here you will see a lot of profile handles happening in terms of the hardware. The top shutters, again, we do not believe in knobs and handles. I really think they kill the look of the place. So here we are using, again, push sensor-based soft closing shutters. And we have, since the kitchen is so small, so we have like an oven here, the microwave here. We did not have space to really build a tall boy and something. It's a very tight kitchen. But the colors and the palette that we have used is very neutral, so that it gives it the feeling of a large space. That's about it. That brings me to the explanation that I had, or the process that we have followed in designing all of these three very different kitchens. So, having taken you through the entire process of designing these three wonderful spaces for amazing people, very nice people with very strong personalities, we realized that we have to think out of the box for each and every family. So for the first family that wanted the show kitchen and the work kitchen, they are well traveled. They have so many things to showcase, like their crockeries and their wine collection and their drinks collection. So they really needed a space for that. So our approach generally is to listen to the client very carefully. Okay, understand what builds their personality, how best you can showcase that through products in their house, and how that becomes a conversation piece. So imagine you have a very nice a wine rack, and you have displayed your wine bottles. Anybody coming in for your house for a party, it's a conversations piece. You're explaining where you got this drink and blah blah blah. And, so the entire house becomes a very interactive kind of a space where people come, feel comfortable, their stories shared. So listen to the client, understand their brief, understand what their likes are, understand what makes them tick. In the second kitchen, what we really liked is, the brief given by the client was, kitchen and a small dining area. But when we explained to them this idea of a chef's kitchen, they really loved it. So think our process is, there's no harm just in sharing the idea. At the most, the client is going to reject the idea and say, no, I don't want. I want something simple. But if it goes through, then this design of the space just flies. So a very nice chef's counter comes in. It adds to the energy of the space. You just have to imagine how this space would be with a chef out there tossing something, grilling something for you. You can go up to the chef, ask him to prepare something for you. So it's so wonderful. It just adds so much energy to the space. Again, keeping in mind who the clients are, a very young couple who loves to party, has traveled well, they were open to this kind of an experience. So put across your idea, think out of the box, uh, and I'm sure something interesting always comes up. Think from your heart. Thank you.
It's important that we look at the kitchen space not only from a perspective that it should look good, but it needs to be practical. Blum provides insights into beautiful yet functional kitchens. Blum has done hundreds of kitchen observations around the globe, and our research has shown that practical kitchens have three essential features: good workflow, enough storage space, and a good quality of motion. Our concept of dynamic space revolves around these features, which helps in kitchen planning. Planning a good workflow in the kitchen will give you ease of access while cooking meals. It saves time and it's more convenient. So while kitchen can be divided into different zones, one of the key goals in kitchen planning is also to create additional storage space. This can be done by planning wider and deeper pullouts, and also by using practical cabinet solutions. Drawers and shutters and wall cabinets in kitchen are usually opened and closed more than 80 times a day. Hence, it's important to have quality fittings so your kitchen could last for 10 to 15 years. A wide range of products provides convenience and various design possibilities. So let's talk about wall cabinets. Aventos, our range of lift systems, is the most optimum solution since the shutter moves upwards and away from the line of work. This provides full access to every corner of the cabinet and can be kept open while working in the kitchen. There are multiple options in our Aventos lift systems. For example, Aventos HF, which is a bifold solution, Aventos HS, where the front slides up and move above the cabinet, and HL, which lifts parallel to the cabinets. Our latest Aventos HK Top has won various awards for minimalist design and also can be used for all the cabinet sizes. All our lift systems provide high design scope, can be easily implemented with ceramics, wood, or aluminium fronts. In case of cabinet doors now, where hinges are used, we have a wide range of soft closing hinges, which comes with integrated Blum motion. We have solution for everything from darker furniture to thinner shutters. Hinges would fit everywhere. Apart from our lift system and hinges, we have a vast range of box systems for all types of drawer solutions in the kitchen. Tandem box, being the industry standard, has been a successful range of drawer system for more than 25 years and still remains one of our best-selling solution with variety of design and color options. Our premium drawer line, Lingel box, has set new market standards. With straight drawer sides and being impressively thin, it beautifully blends with all items of furniture. Tandem box as well as Lingel box comes in wide range of sizes and different load-bearing capacities. These drawers also provide freedom of implementing design elements like glass, tile, stones, which give a very stylish look to your kitchen. Our dynamic space concept has helped and inspired us to provide various practical cabinet solutions to the industry, from Space Tower, which is a popular version of ladder unit, to the latest Space Step solution. Innovation has been our goal with no compromise in quality. Today, various motion technologies are available for kitchen. Hence, we highly recommend trying out and comparing them to suit your individual needs. With our Blue Motion technology, furniture closes softly and effortlessly, even when doors are closed with great force throughout the life cycle of the product. We would recommend tip-on Blue Motion and servo drive technologies for creating handleless kitchens, which delivers great ease of use. To give an extra edge to organization in the kitchen, you can combine our drawer systems with flexible inner dividers. We call them Ambiline for Lingel box and Auger line for Tandem box. They beautifully organize the content of the cabinet, providing maximum ease of access. In the end, it all comes down to the correct installation of our fittings to make them work effortlessly. When it comes to assembly, we have built an exclusive app called Easy Assembly for installers, which give them on-the-go guidance on how to install our products. This saves time and ensures that furniture is assembled precisely. You can download this app from Play Store and Apple Store.
Architect Aahana Miller completed her Master of Architecture at UPenn with a minor in Historic Preservation. This complemented her Bachelor of Fine Arts in Interior Architecture from Rhode Island School of Design, which focused on adaptive reuse. Presently, she works as an architect at ABM Architects, designing a wide range of projects.
Hi everyone, I'm Aahana Miller from ABM Architects, and today we're going to do a workshop on designing kitchens. So I'll take you through a couple of our completed projects and then I can explain to you what is required to design a kitchen. Our first project is the show flat at Rustomji Elements. It was completed by one of our teams in 2018. It's completely modular. So these are some of the photos showing you the design. And my second project is another show flat at the Fusion's apartment. Again, completely modular. I do have to say, I'm not a professional kitchen designer. We actually work with consultants who are experts at this. They recommend everything from the appliances to the fittings to the type of shelving we use, and they do the execution completely. So this kitchen is actually very interesting because it's a completely stainless steel kitchen. So it's extremely hygienic, and it's also fungus resistant, it's termite resistant, it's sustainable because stainless steel can be recycled. So there are a few things that you need to keep in mind while designing kitchens. The first thing is modularity. So when you work with the kitchen consultant, they have certain preset sizes, they have certain modules that you need to work with to get that final design. And then also the hardware, if you can see in this, we work again with another consultant like Blum, where that is integrated into the modules as well. And then the second point is has to be user friendly. So you need to know who is using it, and they shouldn't have any questions. They shouldn't have trouble using the kitchen. It should be completely efficient. Another point is that it should be highly functional, which goes again with the point that it should be practical. So everything should work well. And then one thing you should know about kitchens is that it's not about the aesthetics. It's about how practical is that kitchen, how everything fits together, how much space you're using, and how efficiently you're using it. So aesthetics sort of becomes secondary. Then the next point is that it should be easy to clean and maintain. So what I would recommend for kitchens is use lighter materials, use lighter finishes. Like say in this kitchen and the previous kitchen that I showed, it's white and gray, so that if it stains, if there is dirt, it's easy to see that. And then when you use the finishes, they should be easy to clean. So don't use finishes that stain easily. Like if you use the stainless steel kitchen, very easy to clean, very easy to maintain. And then the next point is, my dad likes to say that everything should be idiot proof. So whether you're using it, the client is using it, their maid is using it, say the cook is using it, it should be idiot proof that anyone can use it without having any questions or difficulty. And then the last thing is provide enough storage. I think that just lacks in a lot of kitchens, that there's never enough storage. So whether it's a combination of cabinets, drawers, a pantry, just make sure that there is enough storage and work with your client on all these points to understand what their requirements are and what exactly they will need for the kitchen. So there's sort of 4 zones in the kitchen. So one is the washing area where you have your sink and dishwasher. The other is the cooking where you have your either gas stoves or induction stove top. Another area is the prep area, and then last is the storage. The prep area is can go anywhere in the kitchen. In this example, it's the central counter that's being used for the prep. It's very good to have that central counter, that central island. It works well in the kitchen design. And then a couple of other things you have to keep in mind. These are very technical, but they help a lot. So some of the standard dimensions for a counter, the counter depth should be about 2 feet, and then there should be a 1-inch overhang of the countertop. And there are generally 3 types of kitchen shapes in your planning, and this depends on how much space you have. So the first one is a parallel kitchen where you have your counters running parallel, like in this example, as you can see. The second is an L shape, so you will have a little corner and an L-shaped counter. And the last is a U shape, so you will have your corner turning round in the form of a U shape. And then one of the first things that we're taught about kitchens is the kitchen triangle. So if you're not familiar with this, the principle is that the washing area, the cooking area, and the storage area, which is the fridge, should form a triangle. And there are some certain minimum dimensions and maximum dimensions for the length of or the distances between these areas. So if you look at this kitchen here for the show flat at Rustamji, it is a little longer than the maximum dimension shown for the kitchen triangle. So I would say that depending on your space, try to work within these parameters to make sure that it's efficient and they're not exceeding the maximum or not going below the minimum dimensions. And then if you see the elevations, there again certain dimensions you have to keep in mind. So the total counter height, including the top of the counter, should be 3 feet. So whether your countertop thickness is 2 inches or 1.5 inches, just make sure that the total height is 3 feet. And then you have a baseboard below, so that should be about 2 inches to 3 inches. It's very important to have that little baseboard. This is a season, so I did the same thing. I took the kitchen triangle and analyzed it. It's actually very efficient. The dimensions and distances between the appliances are correct. Here you can see that it's not only these appliances, but you also have the washing machine dryer. You also have a dishwasher. So again, it just depends how much space you have, what exactly the client needs, what utilities they require. If there is no separate washing area, then they will require a washing machine and dryer inbuilt into the kitchen. Here you can see the elevation of how that was designed. This is the basic sketch done by our team. And then the sketch is given to the kitchen consultant. So they take it over, they analyze it and see how efficiently it's working, including their fittings, including what they have, and then they create the detailed drawings and they do the execution completely from there. So it's more that you're giving a sort of concept of what you would like, what your design should be, and then they do all the detailing, and so you don't have to worry about that. Better to work with a kitchen consultant; they know what they're doing. So I'll just show you some of the drawings that they created. Very simple drawings. But yeah, so they have everything included. So what they've done here is they don't have the microwave and oven separate. They've integrated it into the design, which works very well. And so then you have that extra counter space to work and use that as your prep. So often in the kitchen we forget about the hardware, and using the right kind of hardware, especially in the kitchen where it's used the most, is very important. I would recommend using Blum as their storage solutions and their hardware. They're very efficient, and they're also able to use every corner of the kitchen, so that there's no wastage of space. And the products are also very user-friendly and designed for long-term use, so they're highly recommended. I do have to say that there are two things that people miss. The first thing is that people don't think about the switches and the sockets in the kitchen. What you have to keep in mind is that they should be as invisible as possible. So something that you need to keep in mind in terms of design is that these can match the color of your dado that you use or your backsplash. So I found these from Jung. They have different colors of switches. They're very nice. Also, they're very elegant. So you can see that they're kind of very sleek. They're virtually invisible if you match the color to your backsplash. I also have to say that for the sockets, remember that there are certain appliances that require 15 amps, and you need to provide enough electrical sockets. They should also be universal sockets for different kind of appliances, and provide a few extra because you don't know what your client is going to use. There are things that you forget about. There's a toaster. If a microwave is not included, there may be an RO, there may be a blender. So just keep that in mind. And then the second thing, as I was saying, people forget about windows and ventilation. My advice to you is that natural ventilation is a must. Don't go for any artificial ventilation. Don't put exhaust fans in. So you can see these are some windows from Lingel. Very easy to use, very good. Either you can get a sliding window or openable window depending on how much space you have. So say you're cooking, it gets very hot, you can open a window instead of turning on the fan or AC. And if you're worried about mosquitoes, these windows actually come with a mosquito net. So you can use that if you still want that air to flow, but you don't want to be bothered by the mosquitoes. So that's the end of my presentation. I'll take you through a Revit demo that I have set up. So for this demo, I have a basic kitchen setup, and I'm going to try some different things and teach you how exactly what the process is in terms of designing and using that space efficiently. So what I have is I've already put in my refrigerator. It's concealed behind these cabinets. It's good because you don't see the refrigerator. It's quite hidden. I have a combination of drawers and shutters, and I have my wall cabinet. I've also included a central island, and I put my cooktop on that island, but the central island can also be used for storage if you like. So what happens is that you're left with this corner. That corner becomes a little bit tricky because it's kind of like leftover space. How do you use that efficiently? So one thing I'll tell you is that depending on how much space you have, either you can fill in that corner with a pantry unit, or you can continue it as an L shape. So first I'll just show you if you had to put a unit in that corner, what you might do. So say I can take either one of these depending on what you need and how much space you require, whether you want open shelves or shutters. One thing I would say about open shelves is that they get dirty, especially in India. So aesthetically, you may like the look of them, but as far as possible, avoid open shelves. So this is my unit. Say it doesn't fit, I can make it as big as I want to. It also depends on your kitchen consultant. I'm going to just align it. I may have some leftover space. There are units like this that are available. A lot of kitchen consultants have this, and they recommend that you fill in that space with open shelving as well. So I can even put that in the corner if I want to. Just depending on what my design is. If the client doesn't mind open shelves, then that works for them. And then I would change the dimension of these to fill in that space. So I'm not going to do that right now, but if I just shift this wall back, say that's my space. Now I've filled in that corner efficiently. I put a tall unit, can be any size that I want to fill that corner in, and then that works. So you can use that full length to for your storage. Alternatively, if I wanted, I could turn the counters in L shape. So let me remove this. I can have it run as long as and as much space as I have again. So here what I've done is you have the fridge, you have the sink, and you have the stove. So they do form that triangle. Again, the dimensions and the spacing that needs to be worked out by the designer. Now what I'm left is I need to put a corner cabinet here as well as on the wall. So I'm going to do that. And I'll tell you what are the pros and cons of doing that. So I have this unit. I'm going to try that out. I'm actually going to shift my wall back. Make sure my counter comes. And then I might want to fill this with a wall cabinet as well. So maybe I could take this. Again, this would have to be modified so that that space is filled. That's what I'm saying about corners. It's very difficult to design for the corners. We need to keep that in mind. So what I would say about these corner cabinets are the corners are hard to reach. If I had to open this one up, so what the consultant might suggest is that you use something that rotates inside. So you have a shelf that's rotating rather than reaching in. You can rotate it and grab your things very quickly. I will also show you some standard dimensions that work for me for this that I used to design this kitchen. So the first thing I did was I set up my my reference planes so that I had the countertop height, I had the countertop thickness, I had the height of the wall cabinet from the top of the counter, which is about 25 inches. And then depending on your ceiling height, you would probably make your wall cabinets 2 feet to 2 feet thick. Also depends on your user, how tall they are, and if they can reach that top cabinet. And as I was saying before that about your switches, I've just inserted a few for this demo to make sure you have enough switches. They're user-friendly, they're sleek, they're integrated into the wall. And I was talking about natural ventilation. Sometimes you may have a good view to the outside and you want to use windows to highlight that view. So that's where you would place your windows. What you could also do is you could have your sink in front of that window. So not necessarily the sink faces the wall, but it would be nice, to have that there. Make sure you have enough counter space for all your appliances. People forget how many appliances there are. Just collected a few. So you may have a dishwasher below your counter as well. So then that takes up 1 unit of your shelving. You have your microwave, you may have a coffee machine, you have a blender, you may have an RO, AquaGuard. So just keep that in mind that you need enough counter space. If I just had this as a parallel kitchen, that may not be enough counter space for this particular kitchen. So yeah, these are some of the things that I think you need to be aware of. And kitchens are really fun. So just have fun with them. Think of them as a puzzle. Think of them as spaces you need to use efficiently, and you need to be very practical about your design. If you're a student and you're not sure about kitchen design, that's okay. It's a lot to learn when you start your own projects and when you're on site. You will have to make sure that it's tailored to your client. So understanding who the client is, who the user is, just know that these are some of the things that you will learn when you actually do a project. So don't worry about if you're not sure about how to go about designing a kitchen, you will just learn it. So overall, we've gone over a couple of points to remember. Remember, efficiency is key when you're designing the kitchen. You need to make sure that you have covered all the points that have been over, including how many switches, natural ventilation, making it user friendly, and also working with a kitchen consultant because they know what is best for the kitchen. And then, I mean, there are a lot of resources available online as well if you aren't sure. And then remember about the kitchen triangle. Just that is the best way to plan your kitchen, so you know exactly where to put your refrigerator, your stove, and your sink. So thank you so much. I hope this was very informational and that you were able to learn a lot. Thank you.
Your kitchen window or your kitchen, very important. It is the room most happening place. We are making the food, we have the gas cylinders, we have the cooking flames, we have all the fragrances from the spices. It is always a lovely place to be in the kitchen. Make it that it remains like this, that people are not just sweating and don't want to go in the kitchen at all. Provide there a lot of space, and there I think a lot of demand towards the new age architecture. Don't go away from the small sliding windows or small openings just provided. Go to a large one. Kitchen is a place where you come in and you step out. And important, the moment you have a window and there is the table in front of the window, or your area, your cooking area in front of the window, never go for encasement option, because while opening it, you will not be in a position to reach over there. For these kind of windows where my window is not 100% accessible, you go for a sliding option, because very important again, you need your natural ventilation, and at the same time you don't want to have the flies and the insects coming in. Mosquito mesh in kitchen is actually must. The moment you have a chance that you have a window which is not blocked by a table, go for encasement, because casement is going to provide you the full opening. If your window is bigger, you make a 2-panel or even a 3-panel openable window, so that the entire space is there for you, so that the fresh air and ventilation is coming in, and at the same time you can access your windows. Mosquito mesh is must. The chance, if you have the chance to have an attached balcony, very, very important on the kitchen. Have a door, make it as bright, as wide as possible, so that it stops you from not going in, from not going out. You have the mosquito net, so that the maximum ventilation is there, and at the same time the maximum space is also given. When the design allows you an attached balcony, make a door inside where you can use the outside space. On the outside space on the balcony, you can cover the entire balcony with a mesh. Don't put a window over there, it's a balcony, but cover it with a mesh, so that the kitchen area is absolutely sealed. It can be completely open, the ventilation can happen, and at the same time, unwanted mosquitoes are not coming in. The moment you have a chance to have a balcony, cover the balcony with a mesh and enjoy the maximum area of your kitchen, when you can have the best happening place for your family, where people are stepping in, cooking together. It should be just a happening place, the kitchen, as a part of your flat. Thank you so much.
Well, taking you to the another range, to the Liga Color, which has been specifically been designed keeping the color concepts in mind. So as nowadays broadly the architects are playing with colors in kitchen, as a kitchen has been the most prominent area where we spent most of our time. So we all love to play with colors and to give it a new kind of a look, cool look, and yet which enhance the beauty of our project. So Jung has patented all the Le Corbusier color, that is 63 colors of a Le Corbusier society over the switches range, including the automation switches and the accessories. Here you can see all the colors which have been there with the Le Corbusier society. We can have all those colors on the LS990 range. So I'll take you to the stop through a small video so that you can easily cross into the beauty of a switch and can understand what exactly we are going to say about it.
That's what I'm talking about. Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
So you have tried to develop a color range, because if you want to have a different frame color and a different switch color, a different frame color and a different dimmer color, so everything is possible into here. So you can have a look at the few of the sites which have recently completed through Le Corbusier colors. But yes, since it's our international range, so we are not providing the universal software. Instead, we are having a super software. So you can see we have a different frame colors, a different inside rocker colors into the thing. So you can play with the colors in a way you want. If you want to camouflage the color with the color pink is been like already we have shown here. If you want to create any kind of a dramatic kind of a look, so it's been always been possible here. So this is all we have, and apart from that, we have a facility of using graphic tools through laser engraving, color printing, and the labeling of the fields, which is being required. If you are doing any kids area, you want to have some cartoon or some any kind of a character, maybe a marble character or any character to be painted over the switch. That's printed over the switch. That is always been possible. If we are working for any group and we want to emboss the logo on the switch, that is also been possible. And for engraving, soft engraving, everything is possible. And yes, this is all done in Germany. We don't have any unit which through which it can take place in India. Everything has to be done in Germany. Now this is how we work with the architects with the colors. See, presently looking at the present scenario, everybody is, due to the safety reasons, we are avoiding one-to-one meetings. But our business can't stop. We have to go around for the business and to complete our projects. So how to go for the selection of the switches? Jung has come up with a very interesting app. That app is available into the Google Play Store if you have an Android mobile, and if you have the Apple mobile, you can download it from the App Store. So here you have to just take out the barcode from that app and have to paste on any of the surface where you want to use the Jung's product. Maybe any. Maybe the automation switch, the SAS switch, the mechanical switch, the radios, the video system, whatever you want to use, you have to just paste that barcode over the color, over that particular surface, and you have to point your phone towards that barcode, and you have to choose the products which you want to use. The products are being given over here, and you can see exactly the product you have chosen, how it's gonna look like over the wall. So that's helping a lot to the architects in finalizing the colors and the make. And once it has been finalized, we can work ahead. So that's all from Jung, guys. And I'm sure that you guys have enjoyed the session, looking at the wonderful videos. And if you have any questions and queries, we're always here to assist you all. Thank you so much.